If you're looking for life insurance or burial or cremation or final expense insurance for someone with a terminal illness, we've got the answers that you're looking for. Now, a terminal illness by definition means that you've got typically less than 12 months to live. Some companies, some insurance companies will say, hey, less than 24 months. But as a rule, it's less than 12 months to live. And we get calls all the time from folks, which is the reason we're making this video. We get calls all the time from folks that say, hey, I've got a family member or a loved one or a friend who was just diagnosed with the terminal illness, and we need to get insurance for them before it's too late. And, you know, it really is too late by the time somebody's diagnosed with the terminal illness, but we'll get into that. So when those people call us, they are just filled with fear because in most cases, these families don't have the money to pay for a proper burial or a proper cremation or kind of that final celebration of life or remembrance ceremony or anything like that. It's just like so many things in life. It's just like a bolt of lightning came out of nowhere. And they're just left with the grief and shock of knowing that somebody's not going to be around anymore. Now, think about it. If you're an insurance company, if you owned an insurance company and somebody approached you and said, you know, hey, my mom, she's got a terminal illness. She's only got 4 months to live. And you know, she thought about getting this insurance her entire life, but she never did it. She never thought that she would be the one to get the terminal illness. And yet here we are. So, Mr. Insurance Person, I need to get insurance on mom right away because she's going to die in 4 months or so. And again, think about it from the insurance company's perspective that let's say the premium was $50 a month. The life insurance rate was $50 a month. So, and let's say the insurance company, for that coverage amount, that would be $20,000 worth of insurance. So let's say that you make 4 months worth of payments. It's $200. Do you think the insurance company is going to accept that person with the terminal illness for a policy that would pay out $20,000 after 4 months? You know, a lot of people think that the insurance companies don't want to pay these death benefits. That's 100% false. The insurance companies want to pay death benefits because it's how they stay in business, is having success stories where somebody who'd prepared well in advance, and when the worst happens, the insurance company's happy to pay that money. The insurance company is not happy to pay money when somebody has delayed getting this insurance their entire life. And this could be 60, 70, 80 plus years old. Every single year, they've had a decision to make, and they said no. And yet, they get diagnosed with a terminal illness, and where do you run? To the insurance company, thinking they're going to bail you out for all those years of procrastination. And I know this is kind of tough love talk here, but that's just the reality of the situation. The insurance companies are not going to accept that risk once somebody has been diagnosed with a terminal illness. So if you're calling on behalf of somebody who has a terminal looking for insurance, thanks for caring enough about them to help them out in this time. And we understand that the reason that people are calling around at this time is they just don't understand insurance. You know, that's what we do. We're insurance authorities, and we work with a whole bunch of different insurance companies. Here at Funeral Funds, we specialize in first day coverage. So we don't even recommend plans with 2-year waiting periods. But since we're talking about plans, let's talk about what somebody would qualify for if they had a terminal illness. So picture if you had a brand new car and you just hadn't gotten around to getting it insured yet. And you're driving in town one day and driving through an intersection and boom, somebody runs a red light and you T-bone them. You just crash right into them and your car's totaled. So you go, oh man, I don't have insurance. I better get some car insurance right away. And you call the insurance company and you say, hey, I just crashed my car and, I don't have money to get it fixed or get it replaced. I think it's totaled. It definitely need to be replaced. Can I get some insurance real quick? And I'd be happy to make my first payment. And then you can replace my car because that's what insurance does, right? And the insurance company would say, what you would have actually had to have the insurance before you got in the accident. You can't call us and say, hey, I can make my first premium payment, and then we've got to replace your car for $30,000 or $40,000. So car insurance is kind of the same way as, burial, cremation, final expense, or life insurance. You have to have it before something catastrophic happens. So what are your options if you don't have the insurance and then all of a sudden you need it, like with the terminal illness? So there's only one type of plan available in those situations, and we don't recommend it. So the only type of plan that somebody would qualify for with a terminal illness, after they've been diagnosed, of course, with the terminal illness, is a plan with a 2-year waiting period. And let's jump back to that definition of a terminal illness. Almost all insurance companies define a terminal illness as in you're likely to die within the next 12 months. There's a few companies out there that say, in the next 24 months. But again, the policy's got a 2-year waiting period. So what that means is if you got one of those policies and, the person with the terminal illness died within that first 2 years for any health or medical reason, the policy is not going to pay out a single penny. Now, these policies will pay out if you die of an accidental death. But really, for somebody who's got a terminal illness, what are the chances of them dying accidentally? So we don't encourage false hope at Funeral Funds of America. So what we tell people is that we don't think a 2-year waiting period is a good solution for them. Now, some agents out there will say, yeah, but, if you do die in the first 2 years, you get all your premium plus an interest rate back. Depending on the insurance companies, you'd get all your premiums back plus an additional, it would typically range from 7 to 10%. That's on average. There's one company out there that you can get 30%. That's the company we refer to when appropriate. But again, you shouldn't be getting this insurance just because you're going to get your premiums back plus an interest rate. You should really just start figuring out as a family or as loved ones or extended family and friends how to pay for this person who didn't prepare. And in my opinion, and we're in the insurance business, in my opinion, any type of burial, cremation, final expense, or life insurance product is not appropriate because it's all going to have a 2-year waiting period. And by definition, the person with the terminal illness will be gone long before the policy ever matures and you have guaranteed full coverage. So really, my takeaway from this entire video is let's all learn from other people's mistakes. Because everyone that we've spoken with that's had a terminal illness or a friend or family member has called us up for somebody who has a terminal illness, there was the time in their life when they didn't have that terminal illness and they qualified for the best insurance out there at the lowest rates. And they never did it. They hesitated. They thought about it. They thought, I'll be okay one more day. It won't happen to me. Just because it happened to Bob down the road doesn't mean it's going to happen to me. And then all of a sudden, it happens to the wrong person. It happens to the person that you look into the mirror every day. It's you. So this insurance needs to be purchased before you actually need it. No different than auto insurance. Nobody's going to pay to get your car fixed if you crash it without insurance and then try to get insurance. Nobody's going to give you homeowners insurance if you don't have the insurance and then your house burns down and then you approach people to try to get insurance to pay for your house. That's the way insurance works. So get this insurance sooner rather than later. Don't delay. Don't be the 80-year-old person who calls us up and says, I've got a terminal illness. Well, you had 80 plus years to shop for this. Why didn't you do it? You rolled the dice each and every year, and finally life caught up with you. So this insurance is affordable. And it helps your family at the worst possible time when they're going to need this money. They're not only going to be grieving your loss or dealing with your impending loss that's coming up because you've got a terminal illness, but now they're going to be having to figure out how to pay the bills. And never forget, they've got their own bills. Everybody's got their own lives. Shouldn't you really take care of this so that you're not creating fear and frustration and grief for other people exactly when they need it the most? Your fate's already signed. You've got a terminal illness. Don't put that burden on other folks. Get this insurance now before it's too late. Learn from the mistakes of others. So at Funeral Funds of America, that's what we help people do. So if you're in need of this insurance, if you're just in need of advice, if you're just in need of talking to an honest agent who's got your best interest in mind, reach out to us. Our website is funeralfunds.com. That's FUNERALFUNDS.com. And our toll-free number is 888-862-9456. We're here to help you. If you just even have a question, if you want rates, if you want to know what you qualify for, just reach out to us. We'll help you out. You take care. Have a nice day.